As part of the Medics for Kenya volunteers, they were patching up the injured, offering first aid care before moving them to hospital.
At our tent, we have attended to 21 injured persons. Those persons have been evacuated to the Kenyatta National Hospital and Mbagathi Hospital. And we do have 76 that have been attended to our 3 standby locations in Nairobi. We are here at Holy Family Basilica. We also have another standby location at All Saints Cathedral and then at Jamia Mosque.
When you hear somebody saying, go back, I'm killing more that you have to wait for, I have never been broken like that.
We realized the JNC withdrew from the protest. Yeah. Because the JNC themselves saw their life was in danger. The team that infiltrated, and this I have to tell it to the people of Kenya, were people who were under the influence of drugs. They were given, they were intoxicated.
How do you tell that?
They were intoxicated. You can tell that from the behavior in comparison to the agencies. I'm trying to compare 2 sets of people.
What were they doing?
So the agencies usually were protesting. They were carrying banners. So these are people who were carrying. People who were carrying crude weapons, and they had a specific targets. The agencies had no specific targets. No particular. They had no problem with the Supreme Court. You asked me a good question. How can you tell? The policemen and women who are on the ground, who deal with their citizens and communities every day, they can tell somebody who is intoxicated, who's carrying crude weapon, from a normal protesters who they used to deal with every day. These were not GNCs. These were big group, the ones that were coming from this side of Long Kiambu Road, from Thika Road, from Eastlands, who were coming from Kitengela side. In fact, the ones from Kitengela side blocked our troops from Langata side. The people who came to save Parliament were lucky because they used the expressway.
Parliament was a bit on fire, but now the shooting was becoming intense. And we had to go out of Parliament, movie style. I swear, we had to crawl out of Parliament, running, crawling out, running. Now, this time, I felt a bit, I really hope we make it out alive because the bullets were ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. You could literally feel the bullets flying over you. We were all on the floor.
These are live bullets which they're using against the innocent kids. Nimebeba hapa karibu niko na 10.
The people that we saw shooting on TV with hoodies on their faces, who are they?
No, you know that you can't ask me.
Why?
No, I told you our work was under the Constitution to come and save the situation. And even you know,
and I get
Defense
that.
Forces came in and saved the situation.
And I get that.
So the other questions I think you need to put to the other organs.
Do you know them?
I'm asking you who are they because they are hooded.
They are being investigated. I've told you files have been opened on every incident of shooting.
You're the Interior Cabinet Secretary.
Yes, I am.
You don't know who those people are?
But I'm not a police investigator. I'm sure even the IG doesn't know. He's waiting for the process to be completed. That's why we have a DCI.
Is it a possibility that the people that are protecting Parliament are not police officers?
Nobody has the authority to exercise police powers if they are not police officers.
I don't want to speak for the police. I don't want to speak for the other agencies.
Let me just explain. I'm okay with whatever answer you give. So the police officers were there. You said the military was there. There were special forces. All I'm asking about is because it's not known, at least publicly, who the people shooting on TV, the balaclavas, who they are.
You should put that question to the heads of the other agencies.
What you could do, because I don't think the images could amount to forensic investigation, what you could do is, as a journalist or an eyewitness who witnessed who did what, is to help us with that information. The team that is looking at that investigations, and if there are people who are exercising police powers who are not police officers, those are criminals.
When I think about 3-4 people were killed, is a time I think when the Kenya Defence Forces special teams arrived, plus other special forces from the internal organ of the police to boost.
Shortly after I spoke to the president, he assured me the military was coming in and special forces will come, and he directed us, since he also was privy to the same intelligence that we were targets for elimination, we must not leave.
The demonstrators were also not, they got access to Parliament, and the information we got later was that they went for the armory. There's an armory in Parliament, and they did this and that. But I think the police could still contain it, in my view.
The arrival of the defense forces, particularly in Parliament, saved the situation.
The quantity and the extent of damage meted along Parliament Road and within Parliament buildings will remain a stark reminder of the events of June the 25th, the very day in history when the Parliament of Kenya was invaded during the nationwide...
The president called me around that time and was trying to find out, because now by that time now the invasion of my home was on the news. And was trying to find out from me, am I okay? Was my family here? Is it safe? And said, now, where are you? I said, I'm in the speakers. And tried to find Kujeni Hapa State House. At least that's why we felt it would be safer. So that's where we went.
We stayed on in State House until 1:30 a.m.
What were you doing?
The nation was in a crisis. The president needed to deal with the crisis, and we also needed to make decisions on what needs to be done next. And by 9 p.m., I think the president's statement was ready.
An otherwise legitimate expression of the fundamental rights and freedoms of assembly, demonstration, picketing, and petitioning of public authorities by a section of law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of organized criminals. Most regrettably, today's attack on Kenya's constitutional order has resulted in the loss of lives, also destruction of property and desecration of institutions and emblems of our sovereignty. Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security. I assure the nation that the government has mobilized all resources at the nation's disposal to ensure that a situation of this nature will not recur again at whatever cost. We shall provide a full, effective, and expeditious response to today's treasonous events.